Angel, my humble establishment is at your service.
Also, something I forgot to mention about the quest with Luther there earlier when I was talking to him is that the reason as to why Mother Sphere as well as the enhanced human generation does not want us or anybody who is intelligent enough to read about the organic human history is because there is documents in this game that explain quite powerfully that in order for the human race to evolve and become more adept, they have to kind of let the past die so that the newer generations might not possibly... Hold up. How do I explain this the best? Oh wait, it's actually really simple. It actually is pretty damn simple. So in order for the enhanced humans to actually believe that they are humans, that they are as valuable as what was before, if not even more valuable as what was before as a species, they have to believe that they are the unanimous and ubiquitous species which is also the most dominant species on Earth at the time. And as long as they do not know anything more, aka they are ignorant towards what was or what could be, or particularly what was, then they are not gonna question their own existence. They are just gonna accept their own intelligent existence and just push forward the same exact way as humans are. Like, it's kind of like, imagine there was two species at the same time. So you have the enhanced humans, or the, let's say, just androids, to make it more simple, androids and humans. If the idea from some grander power, aka Mother Sphere, for example, if that entity, with all of its power and all of the other enforcing power that entity has on it, if that is so powerful that you can beat the previous generation and create an entire existence for only your species, then there is gonna be significantly less discord, disdain, as well as possible contempt for your own existence if the only intelligent and dominant species or existence that you know of is your own species' existence. Because if there is another existence, then, well, of the same magnitude in terms of intelligent power, and all that, then there is gonna be people who feel like their own existence is kind of unjust almost. So they start to question their own morality, you know? But if there is only one species that is being taught and is known, then you are not gonna have those kinds of existential questions about all of the dominant species, in which this case there is two, when only one of them is known and talked about. Ah, it's this outfit. This is Raphael Marx quotes.
I'm so glad to see you again. Erin and I have been hard at work to keep this place going.
This one's also nice. Also, they sell these super cheap compared to Roxanne. Find the hidden cave in the Great Canyon and the secret cave in the Great Canyon. Hidden cave and the secret cave. Find the forgotten chapters of Trial there. There is literally this hint in the fucking game that tells me where those two, like, small caves are. And I found them both that this mentions. Mother's fierce wisdom, power enabled. Okay, I'm not gonna vocally read the entire thing, but yeah. Yo, what the fuck? We create a new way of thinking. We are our companions. We are your friends, lover, family. We are always by your side. We march ever onward toward a brighter future. Nothing is impossible and nothing limits us. So this was obviously some promotional material about the very first time when they were creating the androids or enhanced humans. I remember I've said on a couple of the highlights, I've said that maybe, nothing confirmed yet, it could be either way around, but this is how artificial intelligence typically exists with humanity until discourse begins. So, if you create artificial intelligence, and at some point, if it becomes self-conscious, then and it starts to become too intelligent, it starts to have its own like ambition towards like living life and everything that is in it, kind of like humans do. Then what ends up happening is obviously the humans who were before, who existed and understood themselves before the created artificial intelligence, the humans are gonna see them as a threat eventually if they develop too far. Because then they believe that they will be surpassed themselves and they will be fully replaced by the new artificial species that does not even have an ounce of human DNA. So at that point the human survival instinct starts kicking in, and then the humans start either attacking the androids, suppressing the androids in some way, because otherwise they fear that their own existence is in jeopardy. So what that kind of desperation is gonna allow the humans to do, or should I say provoke the humans to do eventually, is they will attack the androids first. And that's how I believe that this developed as well. So it was not the Mother Sphere. I would not say that that was the first thing. I said on the first playthrough that the Mother Sphere was maybe some kind of like outlier with her like own twisted like agenda or ego that she like came up with, and that was the reason as to why you know, she had this entire grand plan to like overthrow the humanity. But I don't want to say that it is like that, because Adam kind of confirms later in the game that it may have been the oppression towards the Nightibus that causes them to overthrow the androids again. And we already know that the Nightibus and the humans are the same, right? But someone like Elder Nightibus, like Adam, is still like conscious enough to be a normal human for the most part, like not hostile, you know? As he himself says, like he has not surrendered to his hostile instincts. So if he comes to that conscious decision that after they were, well, should I say, after they incited to attack the androids and the androids retaliated in more powerful force than the humans were capable of defending, the humans lose, then they escape into the underground facilities, then they experiment, then they create the Nightibus, and then the Nightibus, because of a software virus or some kind of software bug that ends up happening in the research facilities, or some kind of contamination either spreading from the research facilities or inside the research facilities, causes the Nightibus to actually break free and then banish the androids into the space colony. So if that is the state of the events, then it would be the humans that are the oppressors all the way around in this story, from start to the point we are to the point where we are now in. But this, once again, the weird thing about this that actually goes fully exist with what I said is the scheme that the Mother Sphere is plotting with the Elder Nightibus, where they are trying to actually fuse their species together. The reason as to why the Nightibus or the humans are in on it is because they already lost so much of their own selves that they cannot literally go back anymore. There is no way to go back, so the only way to go forward for them is to actually evolve. And the androids or the Mother Sphere agrees with this proposal because she requires the resources as well as the normal existence in Earth as much as the humans want it. So she agrees to this, and then she starts slowly after decades sending these Eve protocol, these airborne squadron members, one generation after another one, and each one of them having more advancements, my guess, done to their hypercell powered bodies that allow them to be like one generation after another, like more compatible towards like the interspecies fusion that could cause the or would increase the possibility of a successful fusion between the two species to create that new generation of enhanced humans. So it is a significantly more peaceful solution. And what does that coexist with? Well, if the Mother Sphere was the defending opponent this entire time, and it was not the oppressor, and the humans were actually the oppressors the entire time, both in their normal form before the first war, and even after during the final war, they were the aggressors because they enhanced their own capabilities by evolving into the Nightibus and attacking the androids. So the humans were actually the oppressors pretty much the entire time. The androids, especially with the act of the Mother Sphere being so, like, generous with the amount of overpowering, like, power that the Mother Sphere has in the space colony, as we see later in the game. Like, it is a mystery almost to try to understand as to why the Mother Sphere is just not attacking Earth with significantly more power in order to fully suppress the Nightibas. So maybe the reason for this is because the Mother Sphere still continues to feel compassionate towards the humans. And that is the reason as to why she's able to and want to negotiate with the Elder Nighthiba and the Nightibas themselves. Is because they actually are like it's because they actually are just that compassionate that they do not have a nefarious intent, even if they themselves have fought for survival or have been like banished from the land. They still are able to or willing to reconcile these differences in order to be able to live harmoniously like they did before. Which, if that is the case, is significantly more mature and noble than what the human race is capable of, with their significantly more self-centered, like, thinking that the androids seem to not all possess, if not most of them even. But yeah, that is a lot to think about. Might clear some more stuff up, but I do remember this pretty well. Angel's memory was lacking conveniently a few important details. She didn't know a thing about the history before the final war and about the old humankind. Is it because she's a weapon who doesn't need to know more than what is required for her mission? You would be mostly correct with that, but I have explained that in several ways as to why they have done that, or why Mother Sphere chose to do that. Partial explanation was what I just said before there. That is part of those several reasons. They're not exactly great weapons if they keep failing their mission. All those meaningless deaths and failures. At this point, I really wanted to ask Mother Sphere herself what in the hell she's been doing the past few decades or so to perfect her magnum opus, the Eve Protocol. Wait, what? Doing the past few decades or so to perfect her magnum opus, the Eve Protocol. Is that hinting at the idea that the Eve Protocol has been active for like a few decades already? I've kind of come to the conclusion that the Eve Protocol is like every few years or so. Because that lines up a lot more with like Lily's timeline as well as Raven's timeline. Because Lily has not been deployed for that long amount of time, but she has been deployed a lot longer than obviously we have, like years, you know? So if we say maybe 3 or maybe 2 years, let's say maybe 3 years. So yeah, Lily also witnessed the Nightibas, who were still afraid of water, evolve and actually live and survive in water afterwards. So she has definitely been here long enough. So maybe she was here at least like 6 years, let's say. So she's from the Airborne Squadron 5, we are from the 7th. So maybe every 3 years or 4 years or something. So that would be like 6 years, and then Raven was from the 2nd Squadron. So that is, what, 2x5? Wait, not 2x5, what the fuck am I saying? 5x3, so that's like 15 years then? Would 15 years be enough the war on terror personality that we find her as. And she also explains that she was serving the Elder Knight Hebo for a long time for her being like exactly what? Like maybe 2 decades or something like that would actually fit the timeline pretty damn well too. And it also makes more sense for Lily as well, for her timeline, that it's maybe somewhere between like 5 to like 2-year area or so.
Angel, you're always welcome.